Hello, financial fans. All is well today. Friday was a good day. This is Friday, October 28th of 2022, and all was well in the market today. My portfolio is up 1.57% today. Just today alone, it's up 1.57%. But I was beaten by all three indexes that I compare my holdings to. The S&P 500 was up more than 2%, almost 2.5%, 2.46% for the S&P 500. The Dow Jones Industrials have been really doing well compared to the other indexes the last few months. Dow Jones Industrials were up, what percentage here? 2.58% today. That's the Dow 30 stocks. And the NASDAQ Composite was up 2.87, almost 3%. The NASDAQ was up. The NASDAQ's had some really bad times in recent days. And let me take a look here. Year to date. What I just gave you the percentages, that was today alone, Friday, October 28th, 2022. But year to date, SPY, that's the S&P 500 index. The S&P 500 index for the year to date down 18.01%. The diamonds, that's the Dow 30. They've had a bad year, but not as bad as all the other indexes. The Dow 30 stocks, DIA, is the ETF, Exchange Traded Fund, has a symbol DIA. It was down 11.02% thus far year to date. The QQQ, the NASDAQ high-tech stocks, not doing too well, down 28.12%, and that's actually up from last week. They've done well this week, but the year has been pretty bad on the NASDAQ. The portfolio, my portfolio, down 17.02% for the year to date. So I'm actually beating what I'm not down as much as the spiders, the S&P 500, and I'm not anywhere near down as much as the QQQ, and the Dow 30 index is beating me thus far. Let me give you an idea of some of the things going on in my portfolio right now. I have a portfolio at TD Ameritrade, and I'm looking at the page for today right now. The biggest 8 movers, I think this is just percentage-wise. In fact, I know it's just percentage-wise. When we get to TTOO, that's one of the stock symbols, a little bit of comedy in the situation with the numbers. But we begin with Gilead, GILD, one of my stocks, was up 12.94% today alone. That's 4% of my portfolio. NYCB, less than 1% of my portfolio, was up 5.8% today. TTOO will come back to. SID, stock symbol SID, was down 6%. It's less than 1% of my portfolio. And these are all today's performance, down 6% today on that SID. VEV, electric vehicle stock, was down 3.81% today. It's less than 1% of my portfolio. VALE was down 4.93%, and it's less than 1%. No, I take it back. It's 3% of my portfolio. 3% of my portfolio, VALE, was down 4.9%. BNGO, 1%, not less than 1%, but it's 1% of my portfolio's BNGO was up 6.7% today. And CIM, stock symbol CIM, was up 4.4% today, and that is less than 1% of my portfolio. Now we'll go back to TTOO. I don't remember, and I haven't looked it up to see what happened when I bought TTOO. I don't know if I bought a lot of shares or didn't buy any, if it was a spin-off or whatever. But in my portfolio right now, less than 1% of my portfolio is TTOO. It was down 5.29% today, but it's not really going to hurt me a whole lot because TTOO, however I happen to come up with it, I have a grand total of 2 shares. 2 shares of TTOO. They have a value of $1.79 each, so less than $4 of my portfolio is at risk with TTOO right now. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look at the top holdings. These are the stocks in which I have the greatest amount of money invested per stock. BTI was up 1.11, which is 6% of my portfolio. ZIM, which is 6% of my portfolio, was down 0.9% today. XOM, that's ExxonMobil. Things are happening in oil, and it's not good or bad, it's just the way it is, the way people have positioned businesses. So anyway, XOM, ExxonMobil, was up 3.02% today, and that's 6% of my portfolio. RTX, Raytheon, is up 3.57% today, and that's 5% of my portfolio. Citibank was up 1.5%, and that's 5% of my portfolio. NVS, 4% of my portfolio, was up 1.55% today. Gilead was up, my goodness, Gilead was up 12.94%. Why in the world is that so far down the line here? I do not know, but Gilead, G-I-L-D, was up 12.94% today. That's 4% of my portfolio. VZ, Verizon, up 4.14% today, and that's 4% of my portfolio. With all that, let me take a look at the positions, they call it here at TD Ameritrade. And what I want to do is take a quick look at Google, G-O-O-G, which I guess is now Alphabet, and Facebook, which is Meta, M-E-T-A. They made headlines for having such a bad day, or a bad yesterday, or whatever it is. G-O-O-G, okay, that's still a stock symbol. G-O-O-G is actually up $4 a share today to $96.62. My holdings of Google have gone down in value since I purchased them, and the other is now Meta, or Meta, M-E-T-A. It also is up $1.06 to $99, and it's way far behind as far as from the time I bought it. I paid more for it, and I guess that is all the outstanding information, and I'll get on to these are stocks to consider in case you're thinking about buying. Buy low, sell high. The stock market is down, this is low. Some people will buy some stocks at the right time, and here are 4 stocks I've looked at today. The numbers look good. I am not a financial advisor, and any money you invest in the stock market you can lose. But some people might want to study stocks just the same way we study the clouds in the sky. Okay, so here's the first cloud in the sky. Ares Capital, A-R-E-S Capital Corporation, A-R-C-C is the symbol. 2/3 of the way down, column on the left, 52-week range. $16.53 was the low, and $23 was the high, so it's nestled right there neatly in the middle of the, from the 52-week low to the 52-week high. It's just about midway, and it was up a little bit today. And we look down a little bit further, we see the volume is about 2,700,000 shares trading every day. and this stock is considered to be undervalued. Middle column, PE ratio 11.6, which is a good PE ratio. I would prefer 10 and under, but I will definitely go with 11.60 for a PE ratio. And the earnings per share, $1.69. Now they're paying out more than that in the forward dividend and yield, but it yields 9.81% right now, something to consider. The one-year target is considered to be $21 per share. So that looks pretty inviting there. Now we move on to the next stock. Broadmark Realty Capital Incorporated, symbol BRMK, up 3.5% on this Friday trading day. And the 52-week range, $4.89. It's near that, nearer to that 52-week low than it is to the high. The high was $10.49, and the current price of $5.91 a share. It gives us lots of headroom that might mean the stock might have a tendency to be tugged upward more than some stocks. Average volume, 1 million shares trade every day, and this stock is considered to be undervalued. PE ratio 10.02, that's nice. The forward dividend and yield 84 cents, and again they're spending more for the dividend than what the earnings per share were, so that's sort of a warning sign. Just do proper diligence if you do invest in stocks. Look a little further than what the surface tells us. 59 cents per share is what the company makes forward dividend yield. They're spending 84 cents to give you 14.84% return on the money that you're holding, or the stocks that you're holding in BRMK. And the one-year target, $6.67. That could be considered a growth stock if that does happen. Next we look at Coterra Energy Incorporated, symbol CTRA, and it lost 0.13% of its value. It lost 4 cents in trading on Friday. After hours it went up a penny. The 52-week range, $18.39 was the low, and $36.55 was the high, so it's closer to the high than it is to the low. The average volume, a little over 7 million shares trade every day, and this stock is considered to be near fair value. And next we look at the PE ratio, 7.22. The forward dividend and yield, $2.60. They're earning more than that. Their earnings per share is $4.17, and their forward dividend $2.60, and that comes out to 8.63% on the shares that are being held. That's a nice dividend. One-year target estimate, $36.60, and that would be a very good move upwards. Last we'll look at EC, Ecopetrol SA, and so we know we're talking oil here. The 52-week range, $8.59 was the low, $19.81 was the high, so it's got plenty of headroom there. And the average volume, 1,300,000 shares trade every day, and this stock is considered to be undervalued. The PE ratio, look at that, 3.87. That's nice. The forward dividend and yield, $1.49. Their earnings per share is $2.55, so they can afford the $1.49 they give as a yield. And look at that yield, 15.91%. That is nice. The one-year target from the $9.89 after hours, from that to potential $15.34 is expected. So that looks good, and I thank you very much for watching.